Good afternoon. My name is Chris from Realise Consulting. Firstly, thank you very much for clicking the link to this video. I know that you probably get tons of messages and tons of requests for meetings, etc. This is not what this is about. I was hoping to get some feedback from you as to whether or not you feel that this would be something quite useful for you and your business. It's something I put together at the tail end of 2023. It was to try and solve a number of problems. The first one was I suppose, the complexity of business planning for the year ahead, and how we can give the recruiter more involvement within that planning process, rather than figures and KPIs being dictated to from above. The specific client I worked on this with was a 10 recruiter business with a delivery function. So it was a bit more comprehensive than this version, which is just based on dummy data. And what this, I'm referring to it as a suite of management reports or management analysis. It gives you the ability to be more hands-on with the recruiter, this particular sheet, in terms of that planning process. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is the forecast. So it's a full forecast document, which gives you, again, all of the calculations, the commission splits. It's going to be obviously a custom solution for each individual business. But this particular business had referrals, it had projects, it had manual additions at times, and it broke it down by quarter, again, because this particular business was working on a quarterly commission. I've also got things in here such as a contractor forecast, which gives you the ability to track and monitor the potential fee earnings for each contractor over the period of time that they're due to be there. I know that some of this can be managed in your ATS system. However, the reports I find at times aren't always as comprehensive as you need them to be, or as agile. You want to be able to sort of filter and have a quick glance at the data, which is essentially in front of you. The other thing is you are at the mercy of the information in the CRM ATS system being up to date. So that's something that is factored in. Depending on your margin reports that if you do have a contractor book where you pull that from, this particular client had it from QuickBooks. So I was able to add this information in on a weekly basis to keep a good track of each client, each candidate, each recruiter. And this information, this financial information, feeds directly into the full forecast, which is on here. Okay, depending on the recruiter and the delivery consultant. So that's one thing. Just going back to the main sheet just quickly, you can see that there are these blue boxes. These are the boxes which are sort of customizable. So when you're in the planning process with the recruiter, you can say, right, well, last year you did you had an average job salary of £50,000 for your perm placements, and you might have only done, say, 8 placements, or not 80, that would be nice, 8 placements across the year, with an average fee of 18%. Now, what we're looking at here is we're saying, okay, right, well, this year we are going to target some more senior level roles, and we're going to refine our pitch in order to increase our average fee level up from 18% to 19%. Just those marginal increments make a huge difference. So here we can make a direct adjustment and a direct adjustment again. And if we are wanting them to, or targeting them to do more placements, we can say, right, okay, 12 seems fair, 1 per month. And as you can see, as we're doing all of this, the net commissions and bonus, if there is a bonus payable, it starts to change somewhat. Now, just a little bit of context behind this net commissions. There is a big formula that sits behind that cell, or those cells, which is this commission structure, which essentially produces a a more sort of accurate understanding of what this level of performance can generate them in terms of earning potential. Again, this particular client it was built for had recruiters working on both contract and permanent roles. So naturally, there is a contractor carryover. Again, this is dummy data, but you can add in your contractor carryover, which is pulled directly from this grid here, which is your forecast or pipeline. In addition to that, you've got new contractor forecast. You may want to say, right, okay, we want to try and increase the average weekly margin on these contractors this year. How are we going to do that? What we're going to be able to, who are we going to target? Let's do some market mapping in advance of the year to target more specific type roles and specific type projects, which might lead us into acquiring that level of business. In addition, average week count will have a dependency on how much value that brings in over time. So even an increase in 2 weeks of tenure for each contractor will have a significant difference on the bottom line, as will the amount of contractors. Again, this client had some project revenue associated with their financial setup or their revenue streams. So that was a factor. But as you can see, all of this is feeding into a total revenue figure for the year, which essentially would result in them earning this. So that's the concept of this. That's the logic behind it. The other thing, and I know I'm rattling through this, so I know it's a bit of a quick fire round, but when you're looking at sort of the live data, which is your full forecast, now I've completed this for 2025 just for the benefit of this demonstration, but as you can see, each quarter is completed. Now, depending on the recruiter, this will be tracked on a quarter by quarter basis on your specific customized commission structure, and it will pump out. Shouldn't say pump out, that was not great, but it will deliver you a result in terms of what that commission is payable to that recruiter for that quarter. So there's no more getting your calculators out. All of the calculations are up here, and they're all again customized. This one had a gross profit or a commission based on the quarterly billings as a gross commission minus the salary for that quarter, giving you a net value which would be due at the end of that quarter. So that's just how that client worked. But you can deliver this across or replicate it across all of your recruiters, and you can track and monitor where they are for the quarter from a real-time basis. But that's the commissions. Just off the back of these revenue figures and your contractor forecast and your perm business, there are anchored some KPIs, which again, I know that we all don't necessarily want to give to our salespeople, but this is a great indicator as to what level of effort and metric would be required in order to hit these numbers on average. So let's say, for example, perm placements 12. In order to achieve 12 perm placements, the recruiter would need 8 spending clients throughout the year. And that's on the basis that the client will do multiple, or some clients will do multiple hires. Now, this particular recruiter has a carryover of 4 clients, meaning that they need to sign a further 6. So how do they get 6? We need to generate 36 sales meetings, for example. How are we going to do that? That all comes into context with the business development strategy. There are other metrics here based on how many jobs that you need to deliver in order to fill 12 placements. So this is just on the basis of 1 in 4 jobs turn into a placement, but that may vary depending on each client. But as you can see, we've got a similar logic for contract, and we've also got a combined KPI expectation for both contract and permanent. So I have really gone through that in a very, very quick way. So apologies, and I hope you kept up. If you'd like to talk about it more in more detail, I'd love the opportunity to speak to you. Many thanks. Bye.